And so everybody, welcome to this info session of the GenderSAFE community of practice. And thank you for taking interest in this initiative. I am Marina Kakashi from Knowledge and Innovation, and we are responsible within the GenderSAFE project of the community of practice, together with the Central European University. And the meeting today, we are here for, has several objectives. The first being knowing something more about the project, and also how it fits into the current policy framework about gender-based violence in academia at the European level. And this will be done by Marcela Linkova, from the Czech Academy of Sciences. Then we will really get into the COP, and we will have Claudia Lietti, who is the COP facilitator for Knowledge and Innovation, who will present the COP, main objectives, activities, and the forms of participation. After that, we just want to give space to the participants to ask questions, and we will be using the chat to manage this. And then in wrapping up, we will also recap the next steps before the start of the COP, which is in next October. So a lot of things. Let's get started. And I will hand over to Diana Puerto Michaud, who's the COP Circle facilitator for the Central European University. And she will help us introduce you the key people in the COP so that you can really visualize the different groups that are present today from the GenderSAFE project and the community of practice. So Diana, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Marina. Good morning, everyone. So to start us off with introductions, we will divide ourselves into three main groups, so you can all identify us and see us visually, and we can give a little bit of a presentation about ourselves. So the first group I would like to ask for them to introduce themselves are the consortium partners. So if you are a GenderSAFE partner, I would ask you please to raise your hand so everybody can see you. And we can start introducing ourselves. So I will ask Lut from Yellow Window. Would you like to start?
Yes, thank you, Diana. Good morning, everyone. I'm Lut Mergaert from Yellow Window in Belgium, and I am one of the two scientific coordinators of the project, and Yellow Window is responsible for the training and capacity building activities. Back to you, Diana.
Thank you, Lut. Anna, would you like
Hi, everybody. Thanks, Diana. Hi, everybody. Happy to have you here. My name is Ana Belén Amil. I'm the Gender Equality and Diversity Officer of Central European University, partner in GenderSAFE, and mainly working in Work Package 3, so the community of practice, together with K&I, and also together with Lut in Work Package 4 in training. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Marcela, would you like to continue?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Marcela Linkova. I'm the head of the Center for Gender and Science at the Institute of Sociology of the Czech Academy of Sciences. I'm the other of the two scientific coordinators in the project, and we are responsible for work on developing methodologies for monitoring uptake of policies at the EU level and institutional level. Back to you.
Thank you, Marcela. Now we can continue with the members of K&I, Claudia and Luciano.
Good morning, everyone. I am Claudia Lietti, a researcher in K&I based in Rome. And for the project, I will be facilitator at the general COP level.
Good morning to everyone. I'm Luciano D'Andrea. I'm a senior researcher at Knowledge and Innovation, and part of the team in charge of the development and management of the COP.
Thank you, Luciano. The second group that I would like to ask to introduce themselves are the COP Circle leaders. So if you are a COP Circle leader, I would ask you to please raise your hand. I see Anna and Esther. And see anybody else? Okay, so Anna Bull, would you like to start?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Anna Bull. I'm a senior lecturer in education and social justice at the University of York in the UK. And I'm also a founder and co-director of the 1752 Group, which is a campaigning and research organisation to address sexual misconduct in universities. And we've really previously focused a lot on staff to student sexual misconduct. So I'll be the leader of the legal circle. Now, we're interpreting legal fairly broadly. The types of issues that I've worked on or that we've, that we'd like to be covering are many of the kind of grey areas that come up for universities in handling these issues. I've written a lot with legal colleagues on data sharing and data storage and how to reconcile GDPR obligations with obligations towards safety and equality in universities, complaints handling, and higher education institutions' responsibilities in this area. Also, the particular issues that come up when you have multiple people reporting the same staff member or student. So in the legal circle, we'll be interested in kind of looking at some of those, some of those kind of grey areas that need clarifying. We'll be looking to draw on recent research, some of which is my own with colleagues, and to really try and push good practice towards more safety and equality. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Michaela, would you like to continue? Did I pronounce it right?
Yes, of course. Thank you. So my name is Michaela Antonín Malaníková. I'm a student ombudsperson at the Faculty of Arts, Palacký University in Olomouc, Czech Republic. I promote the GBV prevention agenda not only as an ombudsperson, but also as a board member of the European Network of Ombuds in Higher Education and as a member of the Czech Ombuds platform. Within the GenderSAFE project, I'm a co-leader for Central and Eastern European perspective on gender-based violence. And the aim of this thematic circle is to explore specificities of GBV in Central and Eastern European countries as a phenomenon itself, and also to design the most effective tools and strategies to address it. Thank you.
Thank you. And Esther?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Esther Cois. I work at the University of Cagliari in Italy. I'm a sociologist with a PhD in gender studies, and at the moment I'm a vice rector for gender equality at my university and president of the Committee for Social Inclusion at the University of Cagliari. And from December, I'm also the national president of the Conference of Equality Bodies of all Italian universities. And in this role, at the moment, I have the possibility to analyze the policies against gender-based violence in academia in all 98 Italian universities. And at the moment, I am participating in a research that is analyzing the gender equality plans of all Italian universities, especially from this point of view. So the policies against gender-based violence in each university in Italy. I still don't know which community of practice I will be assigned to, waiting for the next two to be defined as expected. But at the moment, I'm very, very interested in both the issue of compatibility with national and local regulations and to the theme of intersectionality. Thanks a lot for including me in this project.
Thank you, Esther. And finally, the third group that we would like to present is the Circle Facilitators. So I think right now there is about 3 of us. So if you are a COP facilitator, I would like to ask you to raise your hand. And okay, so Anne-Laure, would you like to start?
Yes, thank you, Diana. I'm a visiting researcher at the University of Gothenburg, and I will be involved in the project in different capacities, but here as a COP facilitator for the intersectionality circle.
Thank you, Anne. Gabriela?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Gabriela Langhammerová. I'm from National Contact Center Gender and Science within the Institute of Sociology of the Czech Academy of Science. I work currently on a project which helps institutions within academia With every aspect of implementing a gender equality plan. We provide training, consultation, and tailored support for institutions. And we also run a Czech community of practice called the Community for Change, which brings together professionals, researchers, and experts from Czech universities and research institutions interested in working towards gender mainstreaming in research and academia generally. And within the GenderSAFE project, I'm a facilitator of the Central and Eastern European Community of Practice, working with Michaela Antonín Maleníková. Thank you, and over to Beck.
Thank you, Gabriela. Marcela, would you like to introduce yourself in this role?
Yes, thank you very much. So in terms of facilitation, we will be running one community of practice for national authorities, so people from ministries and higher education authorities. And this community will build on a community of practice that is already established now in the Gender Action Plus project, which focuses on the policy level. So this will be sort of an extension and focused gender-based violence policy of national authorities.
Thank you, Marcela. And I think I'm the last one. As Marina said, my name is Diana, and I will be the Legal Circle facilitator. So I think that has been all for introductions. Marina, all yours.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. So these are our key roles, key groups of people that will be working together in the COP and in the different circles. But now let's get, first things first, and let's get to the core of it, presenting the project, the GenderSAFE project, within which we are all included. So I will give the floor immediately to Marcela for this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Marina. I will start sharing. Hopefully no glitches. I should be now in presentation mode. Yes, okay.
Yes.
So good morning, everyone. Once again, I'm really happy to see such large attendance. I will now present the GenderSAFE project and set it in the policy landscape in the European research area to frame what we are doing together, including the work in the community of practice. So what is GenderSAFE about? Our main goal is to support research and higher education institutions in establishing safe, inclusive, and respectful environments by setting up comprehensive policies to effectively counteract gender-based violence. Why is this important? And I guess all of you have experience with this. We know also from the UNICEF project that gender-based violence continues to be a persistent and huge problem in higher education and research institutions. It has severe consequences at the individual, institutional, and societal levels. We have seen very important policy developments in the last 3 years at the EU level as well as in the member state level. But despite these advances in terms of policy adoption, institutions continue to fail in implementation. Very little is in place to monitor and evaluate the existing policies. There's also a lack of understanding of what constitutes gender-based violence and how to proceed when something happens. People very often do not know where to turn to, what to do, what procedure to take. So this is where our 6-partner consortium comes in. You can see the institutions listed here: ESF, University of Gothenburg, Knowledge and Innovation, the Institute of Sociology of the Czech Academy of Sciences, Yellow Window, and Central European University. So you can see that we have a good geographical spread also across Europe. What are our objectives? The first one is to strengthen zero tolerance policies in the EU by developing a unified policy discourse, because now there's a lot of instability conceptually, theoretically, in terms of what people are aware of, what theoretical concepts they work with. And our focus is on power dynamics, intersectionality, mobility, and precarity. The second is to encourage the adoption of comprehensive policies on gender-based violence. And this is where the community of practice comes in as the main actor to facilitate the work at the institutional level. For the third objective, we will be developing institutional capacities by setting up training for dedicated staff. And this work is already ongoing, and first trainings have been delivered or are being planned. And the last one is to create knowledge base on the adoption and details of zero tolerance policies in the EU using comprehensive data collection and monitoring system that will be used, that will be developed for the EU level and for the institutional level. This is just a very quick recap of how in GenderSAFE we define gender-based violence. It is defined as any type of harm that is perpetrated against a person or group of people because of their factual or perceived sex, gender, sexual orientation, and gender identity, including seemingly innocent, mild, or subtle forms of misconduct and transgressive behavior. So we understand gender-based violence along the entire spectrum as a continuum of violence, and we understand it as a cause and consequence of gender plus inequalities. We work with the 7P model that was developed and tested in the UNICEF project, which is a holistic framework that covers policy, prevalence, protection, prevention, prosecution, provision of services, and partnership. And you can find more information in the UNICEF toolkit. The link is in the PowerPoint. And now very briefly to give a framework for where we are today at the EU level with advancing policies to address gender-based violence. So as I said already, we have seen really a strong growing momentum over the last 3 to 4 years, actually launched with the communication from the Commission on Union of Equality, the Gender Equality Strategy, but then specifically there are documents that are focused on research and innovation policy. And you can see here the whole list. I will not go through all of these, but essentially these are all documents that mention gender-based violence. So not sexual harassment as was the case before sometimes. This really is an advancement in the policy discourse towards gender-based violence. It recognizes intersectionality, or in the EU lingo, inclusiveness. And it has become an integral part of how research careers are conceptualized today. I also want to mention one specific evolution that is happening now in the ERA policy agenda. The work in ERA is implemented through this policy agenda, and for the period 2022-2024, there was ERA Action 5, one of which deliverables is to develop a strategy to counteract gender-based violence, including sexual harassment, in the European research and innovation system. The Commission has set up a subgroup on inclusive gender equality, and this subgroup is working to deliver an EU baselines for a zero tolerance code of conduct on gender-based violence in research and innovation, which should be launched in September at the ERA conference. And this EU baseline is the framework within which the work in GenderSAFE will be done. And we in GenderSAFE will be operationalizing this EU baseline code of conduct, or EU baseline strategy for a code of conduct, to be precise. So that's a very important policy framework for our work. And I also want to mention the Gender Action Plus project very shortly, of which I am the coordinator. It is a policy-focused project which brings together national authorities and research funding organizations, and we have a work package there on gender-based violence as well. And so our two communities of practice, the national authorities and the research funding organizations, are also doing initial work on gender-based violence. And in GenderSAFE, this will continue in our specific dedicated community. So thank you very much. This is all from me.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Marcela. I think this really gives an idea of the significance of our project in this broader framework. And so let's see now our work with the community of practice. Questions, etc., we left them after these other interventions. And I would give the floor then to Claudia Aglietti to really say something about our COP.
Thank you, Marina. I'm sharing my screen. Can you see it?
Yes.
Can you hear me properly?
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, good morning, everyone. It is a pleasure to introduce the community of practice to a wider audience today, and to outline the structures and the operating model that we have put in place so far to implement it within GenderSAFE. Great, I need to move this. Okay, I would like to start the presentation from the membership side, as you are all here, having heard about the opportunity to join the COP through a call for participation, which targets those involved in addressing gender-based violence in higher education and research institutions. Indeed, the GenderSAFE COP aims to involve participants at an individual level from different research institutions, reflecting a wide range of profiles, from administrative staff to students, GEP team members, or even more specific roles, those that you can see in the list on the slide. Geographically, membership will be broad as well, covering the European countries and also the associated countries. Well, in terms of objectives, the GenderSAFE community of practice is intended to be a social learning environment, promoting sharing of knowledge, mutual learning, networking, and also empowering its participants. More specifically, the COP aims to engage in a strategic exchange to promote policy coordination at the European level. The mission of the COP is then to develop, design, and tailor a model policy framework for a zero-tolerance approach to gender-based violence, which universities and research institutions could adopt in the near future. By proposing their perspective and according to their experience, their needs, the context, the participants, the members of the COP themselves will actively participate in the whole process. The COP also foresees a testing phase for the members willing to apply the policy framework developed in the COP or parts of it within their institutions and in their national context, if possible. But this phase of the COP, let's say, will start at a later stage. In terms of its structure, the GenderSAFE COP is organized on two levels, the general COP level and the thematic circles level. Depending on their availability and also their interests, members can choose whether to join the COP at the general level only, or to take part in addition in one thematic circle, where the discussion will address more specific topics. The activities foreseen within the COP, they are mainly of two kinds: the circle meetings and the collaborative work on the COP platform. The circle meetings are the main forum for discussion. They will take place approximately every 4 months, and there will be 7 overall during the project and during the life of the COP. Of these 7 meetings, 3 will be in presence, including the first one in Rome in October, which will correspond to the launch of the COP itself. While the following meeting will be after 4 months, let's say in January, February 2025, and will be online. The work on the platform will take place in between meetings and during the whole life of the COP. And there, the work will continue through, for example, discussions through chat or forum, and also with the co-creation of documents. The platform will be organized at the same in the same way with the general COP level and for thematic circle levels. And we are now in the process of developing it with different tools and different features. Sorry, need to take a step back, because here, yes, when talking about the circle, so as Marcela anticipated, and thanks to the presentation of the circle leaders and the circle facilitators, this gives me the opportunity to say that during the duration of the COP, we foresee to set up 5 circles at least. Of these, 3 are already in place, and I will now give the floor to my colleagues, the facilitators, to quickly present them in their aims and rationale. So I would give the floor to Diana, as in the list. Diana, would you like to start?
Thank you, Claudia. I think what I can add to the description of the legal circle following Anna Bull's words, who is the circle leader, I think it's something that we want to cover, as she said, are the gray areas related to gender-based violence and actual implementation of the legal instruments that are actually in place. Because sometimes when we try to develop, or in our hopes of developing this model policy framework, there are often existing legal obstacles or perceived obstacles that come across and really impede the development of these policies within institutions. So I think we will try to cover aspects related to internal regulations of universities, EU legislation, national legislation, and how we can navigate different obstacles. Also considering data protection or labor law aspects, which are can sometimes be very difficult for actual change makers within institutions. So our aim is to really to share our experiences navigating gender-based violence within our institutions, and really ensuring compliance with the existing legal frameworks, as well as sharing and coming up with innovative solutions. So thank you.
Thank you, Diana. I will now invite Andor for the intersectionality circle.
Thank you, Claudia. So I will be the COP facilitator for the intersectional circle, and the leaders will be Maria Lopez Peloso and Aisha Gul Altine. And the work that we're going to be doing here is just really recognizing that inequalities that are faced by different groups in relation to the prevalence and consequence of gender-based violence are really evident. And there are many different grounds for those structural inequalities in relation to gender-based violence. So I could mention, for example, gender identity and age, disability, etc. But we are also really interested in other circumstances that are not only related to socio-demographic diversity, but also functional diversity. So, for example, being in precarious employment, being a mobile student or a staff member. And we also recognize in the work that we want to do that there are few of the institutional policies, when they exist, that take an intersectional perspective. So in the COP itself, what we want to focus on is how a code of conduct and a zero tolerance approach is also going to serve the needs of minoritized groups, and really bearing in mind the intersectional power imbalances that are at the heart of the problem of gender-based violence.
Thank you, Anne-Laure. I will now give the floor to Gabriela for the last circle.
Thank you, Claudia. So what to add? So in the COP, which is focused on Central Eastern and Eastern European region, we are going to grasp some specificities. I'm sorry, which are rooting from cultural and social variables, which are different in this region, and there's also some, let's say, shared background, and we are going to try to grasp the differences of the national policies and all those cultural and social variables which are important for this topic, and how they have been perceived and addressed over time in this region. And there are also differences between European research systems that need to be taken into account when addressing gender-based violence. And yeah, focusing on the Central and Eastern European perspective, it's an important step towards defining a model policy which can be used in the European Union as well, and to build a model policy framework for this issue. This community of practice will attempt to grasp the specifics of gender-based violence in those countries, and both in terms of the phenomenon itself and also the most appropriate tools, strategies, and measures to address it. Thank you.
Thank you to you, Gabriela. Thanks. Okay, we can now move to the governance of the COP, as we already got in contact with some key roles of the community of practice. Well, the COP will depend on the contribution of all participants who are the main actors. Then, in addition, we established a number of, let's say, governance structures to serve as a reference point for the members themselves. This includes the COP coordinator, who is responsible for managing and facilitating the activities at the general COP level, including meetings and the platform. Then we have the circle leaders, who will play a key role in providing input to the work of the circles and in facilitating the discussions, again, both during meetings and on the online platform. They will also share resources, suggest new topics, facilitate the co-creation of new documents. Besides, we have the circle facilitators who will take part in all these activities, but they will have also an additional responsibility, which will be to create an environment that is safe, inclusive, and conducive to knowledge sharing and learning. Indeed, when we think about the life of the COP, to be more specific of the interactions within the COP, our main concern is to be able to create a safe space where community members can feel comfortable working together, sharing and learning from each other. And to this end, we have developed a set of rules of conduct that we will circulate among the participants to be read carefully and followed during the activities on the platform and during meetings. We also plan to develop tools to assess the level of engagement and satisfactions of the COP members, and also to collect their advice on how the work could even improve during the life of the COP. And to do this, we think we will use exit questionnaires at the end of each meeting, and also after longer period for the assessment. Well, on this last slide, I have tried to outline the COP calendar for the following months, let's say years, of the project. So as I mentioned, the first meeting will be in October, from the 15th to the 17th, in presence in Rome, and this will be the launch of the COP. But I would also like to underline that it is not mandatory to take part in this meeting. So we would invite those who are interested in joining the COP to participate in any case, to send the subscription, because the work will start in the same time also on the platform, and this will continue until the next meeting, which will be, as I said, on January, February 2025, and will be online. However, for those interested in participating in online, in a presence meeting, there are also several of grants available to cover expenses of travel and accommodations. And if you are interested in this opportunity, you can follow the procedure on the call for participation. Having a last look at the calendar, during last year, there will be also the launch of other thematic circles. And yeah, as I said, an active and continued work on the online platform. Okay, thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Claudia, for this recapitulation of the main features of the COP. And while you were speaking, there has been already some exchange and some questions in the chat. And yes, are there, now I'm asking my colleagues, are there questions still to be answered?
So far, no unanswered question. Oh, two more just came in, but
okay, yes. Let's see. So I'm reading the one from Max. Hi, we are a small private university, approximately 300 students, rather new member of staff. I've noticed not much has been done. Where can I get? Oops. Okay, there has been a very synthetic reply from Anna to this question. Indeed, the COP would be a great place to start. But of course, I've posted in the chat before also the GenderSAFE toolkit that has been produced under the GenderSAFE project that preceded GenderSAFE. You could start looking at that, which contains really a wealth of resources. And yes, the fifth circle, would processes for how to deal with gender-based violence be an option, will be addressed somewhere else? Well, processes, I take it you mean formal procedures, maybe. In this case, even though this will be addressed in all circles and also at the general level, I think maybe the legal circle would be the one that might, but colleagues, I'm not the only one here to answer, so feel free to improve answers. Okay, the call for participation, I will be put in the chat. Okay, there you go.
Marina?
Yes, please, Diana.
We had a couple of recurring questions about the meeting in Rome. So maybe if you could clarify the timeline or how people can sign up, or just provide a bit more, maybe repeat that information. I think it would be helpful.
Yes, thank you, Diana. And indeed, the meeting in Rome, as it was mentioned, is in October, 15 whole day and 16 half day in October. And yes, what is important is that to be able to participate, we would ask to follow the deadline of June 16, which is the deadline for applying to the COP. And because those participants who would have enrolled by then will be the opportunity to participate in Rome for organizational reasons, etc. Having said that, this question raises a broader question about our feedback to your application. We need to wait June 16 and see how many people actually applied to make sure that we can accommodate everybody since the beginning of the community of practice work. Because of course we intend, as Claudia was mentioning, we intend the community of practice as a place where there's actual exchange, co-creation, and active engagement of people. And we need then to consider some limits. For instance, circles will have a limit of around 25 to 30 participant max for each circle, at least at the beginning of the community of practice. Then we can tailor our efforts and our work and see if we can accommodate more. So once we reach that number, we would tend to close the circles and redirect people to either circles who have less membership or to the general COP level. And even to the general COP level, should we receive really a lot of application, we might apply some criteria to give priority, as in the topic, in the call for GenderSAFE, to participants from widening countries, and also to pursue some balance in terms of countries, profiles of people, etc. But this means that after you apply and after the deadline of June 16, you will be notified in the shortest time possible about your being, actually being accepted as a member of the COP. Of course, be assured we really want to accommodate all requests, and we will do, whatever to have all requests being accepted. If not immediately, for the first meeting, in subsequent call, we will be reopening over the duration of the COP. But we have this kind of uncertainty now because we really don't know the numbers. We already have quite some applications, but there's still some room. But we do not know now where we will get to. If there are questions about this, we are happy to discuss. Okay. So as for the room meeting, once you receive the confirmation that your application was successful, you will receive also an information on how to, whether you are intended to come with all the indications and the instructions in that respect. Okay. There's also a question here when the COP was launched. It was launched in March.
Did you try it on?
There's someone with the microphone open. Yes. Okay, thank you. Are there other, take your time. Are there other questions and things? Yeah, the meeting room is free to attend, but it will not be, you will need to come at your expenses. And for those who, really cannot make it, there's the possibility to write to us to the mail address that can be put in the chat to ask, because we have limited funding for some bursaries, some travel grants. So if you motivate this, we might be able to fund you. But there's no fees. And during the first day of the meeting room, there will be training provided on the broader topic of gender-based violence in academia. When will the circle, yes, when will the fifth circle will be decided? It will be decided, it will be decided in the period between the first and the second meeting, as in the calendar from Claudia. And so after October, and in between October and January, we will, based also on discussions across the circles, we will be deciding what to focus on for the fifth circle. Yes. Yes, exactly. That's why I'm answering Katalin. That's why you are not aware of a confirmation of receipt. Okay. Yes. Yes, the application has been received, and yes, you will be contacted after June 16. Yes, Tuesday full day and Wednesday half day. Correct. Oops. Yes, I'm still following. Yes. Diana, Claudia, and Anna, are there other questions that have not been answered, or to all GenderSAFE partners are questions that you might also want to answer? Feel free. Okay. Okay, yes. Is there a timetable for Rome? There will be soon, yes, in agenda. You can understand that for us also, knowing how many people will participate in the COP and in the Rome meeting is very important also to fine-tune these aspects. Okay. Okay, since I see that several people ask to be confirmed to have a receipt of their application, okay, we will do that. Okay, thank you for suggesting that. It's a good idea. We will send confirmation of received application. Okay. Am I missing something? Esther saying it may be useful, appropriate for me to spread the call to participate in the call from National Network of Equality Bodies. Okay. Yes. Yes, we can be in contact about that. Esther, also in particular for the timeline of this, which, as you say, it's important, it's sensible. Yes, Michaela, you also wanted to know. Yes, yes. I think that this info session is very close to the deadline. So we will now wrap up on June 16, 17, and see where we are. And after that, we will see if we want to. I mean, how we want to spread more, and how we want to if we need to select participants, at least for now. Then, based on participation rates in activities, etc., we will know how much we can open more to other participants. I hope you understand that yeah, this is really to make the work more, I mean, more feasible, more productive, and the experience yeah, more helpful for everybody, not to have a super excessive number of participants in the COP. Okay. Okay, I see. I'm not sure. I think I was checking some time ago, and many of the people enrolled, I mean, who registered for this session were already, I mean, they already applied, but there are also some that didn't. So if there are questions also from them on the application process, if everything is clear. Okay, I'm calling now to Claudia, Diana, Anna. Are we fine? Do we think we can wrap up? Just last minutes, if you have other questions. We can also be, of course, in touch. You can directly write to us. There's the email. There's the email for asking questions that's in the call and maybe also in the chat somewhere. Maybe we can repost it. And yes, so if we have to conclude, what can we say is, okay, reiterate that for now, the deadline is June 16 by end of business. We will be as quick as possible to be back to you in July as early as possible with the confirmation, hopefully, of your participation. And this will also very much depend on how many applications we have. Then Rome meeting is October 15, 16, and immediately afterwards you will be receiving the confirmation of your that your application was successful. We will get in contact because, I mean, we will be quick also because we, as you can understand, we really need to know how many people will be coming to Rome to really set this up in the best way possible. So this is, am I forgetting something? And yeah. Okay, looking at colleagues, then, well, okay. Thank you. Thank you everybody for attending today. This was so great to see all you people here. And I hope our next time will be in Rome all together. And by email for any kind of question. Thanks. Thanks a lot and have a great rest of the day. Goodbye. Goodbye. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, colleagues. Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
I think you can stop the recording now.